On the show, in Wheelspin, we drive Volkswagen's green car, the XL1. In Launchpad, we have a look at the new Audi RS7. In Launchpad, we check out the XC90 as Volvo launches it in India. And on the road, we drive the Volkswagen Polo GT TSI to Himachal Pradesh.
We all love the color green, don't we? Green grass, green trees, green waters of the river, and of course, green cars. No other industry actually has been as much under pressure as the automotive industry to make their products environmentally friendly. And today I'm here to drive just one such car, which is completely green. This one. And this is Volkswagen's attempt to make a completely green car, an environmentally friendly car which produces the least amount of carbon dioxide per kilometer of driving, just 21 grams. This is the XL1, which is a plug-in hybrid, uses a combination of a diesel engine and an electric motor. Just 200 of these will be made.
The concept of a plug-in hybrid is that it uses a combination of electric motor coupled to a conventional fuel engine to maximize fuel efficiency as well as to cut down on pollution. But at the same time, it also ensures that there is enough power to make it drivable, even on the autobahns. A task which is not easy to achieve, but companies like Volkswagen have managed to do it, and that is to put a viable, drivable plug-in hybrid on the roads. Most of the alternate fuel vehicles are easy to tell by the way they look and design, and so is the case with this XL1 as well. The main design focus for this car has been to reduce weight and to make it more aerodynamic, and these two factors in turn will make it what it is conceived for: increased fuel efficiency.
The XL1 is a very unconventional car any which way you look at it, not only in terms of technology but also in terms of the design and the styling. The gullwing shaped doors open upwards, the seating position is very low, the steering is flat bottom, which kind of gives you a feeling that you're the wheels of a sports car, and the engine is mounted behind with a set of batteries packed in between. Essentially, this is a two-seater, which might make you say that this is impractical. If you consider two-seaters to be impractical, then this is so.
A low center of gravity to reduce the drag, and even the wheels are covered to ensure maximum aerodynamic effect. This gives the car a very different look, but it does serve the purpose. Even the side door mirrors don't exist in an attempt to reduce drag, and what you get instead are cameras with a display on the door pad inside.
I have driven quite a few electric cars in my life, but when you start driving this XL1, you realize that this is slightly different. This is not as quiet as you'd expect an electric car to be. When you start driving, initially it's the electric motor which drives the car, but then at a certain RPM the diesel motor kicks in. And when this does, you can actually feel the difference because the sound changes completely. It now feels like a beast of prey which has certainly spotted its dinner. It sounds throatier, it sounds louder, and it sounds a whole lot more meatier. It's not really what you'd expect of an electric car. It's quite nice in that sense. I like the sound. The electric motor produces about 27 brake horsepower and the diesel unit produces another 48. So what you get is a very healthy 75 brake horsepower, and both these combined together will propel you to a top speed of 160 kilometers, which is pretty good even for the autobahns of Germany. And the best part about driving the XL1 is the fuel efficiency. And now I'm going to tell you, and I can assure you, you are not going to believe me. With 1 liter of diesel, what you're going to get is 111 kilometers. That's the range you can actually drive, over 100 kilometers, according to the European driving cycle. Okay, in India, we might not get that much, but even if we get over 100 or around 100, that's something which will beat a motorcycle. The engine is mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, automatic of course, and this does a very fine job of shifting. You don't really feel any shift shocks. It's smooth, it slots in quite well. The car weighs just over 700 kilos, which means it's got a nice power to weight ratio. It feels very good, and in fact the handling is quite nice for a car like this. The steering input when you are going slow is a little hard, but once you start moving on the highway and you get to the highway cruising speed, it becomes quite nice. In fact, the feedback is quite good. I like the suspension setup. It's quite nice. It doesn't feel wobbly in spite of the thin tires, especially in the front that it rides on. And even at highway speeds, it stays quite planted. The ride is quite reassuring. In fact, I think this is a car you can really drive out on the highway with. Not to talk of the inner city commute, which means that you get a very good fuel efficiency. This is one car I really wouldn't mind taking to work on an everyday basis. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to park. The best part is it's fuel efficient. It's going to save me a lot of money. Of course, this is not to say that you will not pay a very high price for acquiring it. This is an unconventional car, no two ways about that. And what really catches you by surprise is the absence of any wing mirrors. There is no outside rear view mirrors in this car. What you get instead is cameras and a little monitor here which tells you what's behind you. You need a little bit of getting used to, but once you do that, it works fine. Overall, the drivability is quite good in this car. If all the plug-in hybrids get to this standard, I think the hybrids will become very popular in the market. But of course, the fact remains that they are rather expensive to acquire, and that's what's going to get in the way of buying one. But if you do decide to buy, well, this will do the job extremely well. It's a nice, easy car to drive. I quite like the feel of it.
If you look at the interiors of the XL1, you might not notice something very different from an average road-going car, except for the fact that it is a 2-seater and slung quite low. But a closer look will tell you that there is a liberal dose of carbon fiber and lightweight aluminum used to give it both the strength while at the same time keeping the body weight in check. And the feel that you get while driving is of a car which is rather well made and upmarket too, unlike many other electric cars in the market.
And in terms of features and creature comfort, it has pretty much everything that you might need in an everyday car, including a navigation system. The interiors look quite well made. A lot of carbon fiber has been used in the construction of this car to make it lightweight, and this gives it a nice classy look and an appearance of a car which is quite upmarket.
What so far has gone against hybrids is the manufacturing cost of these vehicles, because components, batteries and technology is all expensive and still in developmental stage. And what this XL1, which is otherwise a very usable and even an attractive car, has going against it is the price factor, because this one too is expensive.
All I can tell you is that if you are planning to acquire an XL1, it's a bit too late, because only 200 units were made. And the only thing that might have got on the way of your acquiring one is the price tag. It cost in excess of 100,000 euros, and that could have been a bit prohibitive.
Audi too, like its other German rival Mercedes, seems to be on a launching spree. And after launching the delectable TT sports car last month, launched another model which showcases brand Audi in its full glory as a technology leader.
Looking at our product portfolio, in general terms, we have our standard models, sedans, SUVs, then we have our S models, our RS models, which today, of course, we welcome a new member to.
The RS7 is a car which has the best of everything that Audi has to offer its customers in terms of design, technology and of course brute power to give it the performance edge. RS7 Sportback is styled as a coupe with a hatch instead of a regular boot, and with its sloping seat pillars and a massive long boot in the front, certainly does have an imposing presence. But what really adds to the entire appearance is what lies under the bonnet. A 4-litre TSI bi-turbo V8 petrol engine which belts out a massive 560 brake horsepower, and this is where Audi is hedging its bet. The performance is what it hopes will excite buyers into buying a car, which with its 4 doors might appear like a saloon, but under the hood it's all about performance. The interiors too look well crafted with nice leather seats, touch of aluminum and of course all the bells and whistles which you will expect in a car priced at over £1 crore. Volvo, after showcasing its brand new top-of-the-line premium SUV, the XC90, to the world media in Stockholm last August, finally launched the vehicle in India this week. This new XC90 is built on an entirely new platform and sports new design elements. It is powered by a new 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel engine with 225 brake horsepower on tap, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It will be sold in India in 2 trims, Momentum and Inscription, and priced at Rs 64.9 lakhs for the base model, while as the top-of-the-line Momentum trim will be priced at Rs 77.9 lakhs. The XC90 is essentially a 7-seater and comes with all the premium features that you might expect in an SUV in this segment. Deliveries will start from September of this year.
Last week, you'd know that I'm in Himachal Pradesh. I've been in Nahan exploring the region and its surrounding areas, and I've liked what I've seen so much that I've decided to stay on and explore some more. And of course, what's made the experience all the more pleasurable for me is being able to drive the Volkswagen Polo. and today I have the top of the line variant on my hands. This is the Polo GT TSI, and what that means is that it's powered by a turbo petrol engine which churns out 103 bhp, and for transmission it has the automatic DSG box. So I'm sure this is only going to make my trip all the more fun. I better get going. Himachal Pradesh is a state which beckons tourists with its lush green mountains and numerous places to visit, ranging from skiing courses to verdant orchards. I'm going to beat the tourist rush because I'm here after winter's over and just before the summer sets in and schools close for vacation. Consequently, I have the road to myself for the moment and can enjoy the drive. My first stop on this trip is Renuka Lake, and this lake gets its name from Lord Parshuram's mother, goddess Renuka. So with reverence they call it Sri Renuka Ji Lake. And as soon as you arrive here, it feels like you've walked into a postcard. It's just so picturesque. It's the largest lake in Himachal Pradesh, and the water runs for miles between forest-covered mountains. Everywhere you look, it's lush and green. So I'm looking forward to just taking in all this natural beauty and relaxing. Clear and cool. It's just so beautiful here. You know, this lake is fed by underground springs, so it's a perennial lake and the water is fresh, and you're going to see all these freshwater fish. And if you're lucky, you might even see a huge turtle like I did, just eagerly waiting to be fed. So there's plenty to do here. You could easily just spend the whole day relaxing and taking in the marine life and the scenery. Renuka Ji Lake is just about a 2-hour drive from Nahan, where I was. If you're heading from Delhi, it's a distance of 315 kilometers and can take around 8 hours. It's a shorter drive from Chandigarh and Dehradun, but wherever you're heading from, it's well worth the effort to come here. A mini zoo lies on the periphery of the lake, where you can see Himalayan black bears and leopards. I've had an amazing time at Renuka Lake. It's so scenic here. It's just the perfect place for a weekend getaway. But I've also heard that there are many beautiful places in the region, so I'm all set to explore some more. Before I head out, I have to tell you that the Polo is just such a great car to drive. The engine is so smooth and refined, and the automatic gearbox is just amazing. You don't feel the transitions between gears at all. And of course, in terms of features and the interiors, it has everything you could want from a nice sporty hatchback. The seats are of really good quality and they're really comfortable on this long drive. It also has a great stereo system, and I love listening to my music on these trips. And of course, the leather-wrapped steering wheel feels great to hold. It also comes with all the multifunction buttons, which are a huge convenience. So all in all, you have everything you need for an excellent trip. Let's go. As I drive up the mountains, the scenery gets more and more beautiful. I heard that there is this small temple town called Haripurdhar a few hours away from Renukaji with breathtaking views. So that's where I will soon make a stop.
The temple isn't the only reason to come to Haripurdhar. Another very good reason are the magnificent views you get of the Himalayas. And I'm told that on a clear day you'd even see the snow-capped peaks in the distance. It's absolutely beautiful. I could easily spend hours here just admiring the view. After a lovely drive along winding hill roads lined with blooming rhododendrons, I've reached the town of Haripurdhar. And this is a really charming little town, and its biggest attraction is the Ma Bhangaini Mandir, which is behind me. And now this temple attracts hundreds of people here each day, and it's truly one of the prettiest temples I've ever seen, perched on top of a hill. It's time I go inside. According to local folklore, Ma Bhangaini is regarded as the goddess of justice, and the people of the region regard her with great reverence, making the temple the most important monument here. This has been such a fabulous trip. I am floored by everything that I've gotten to see in Himachal Pradesh. Renukaji Lake was absolutely gorgeous, and then driving here to Haripurdhar was such a charming drive, and I was greeted by this magnificent temple with astounding views of the Himalayas. I have had such a good time here. And of course, driving the Polo only made my trip more fun. It's been such a pleasure to drive this smooth and comfortable car, so I'm all set to head back behind the wheel and drive to Delhi. See you next week.